Alright, so in the spirit of essentialism, less but better, I thought about this and thought about this and thought about this and finally decided to take my own vice to the max. And this is one thing that's quite a bit different from Job Killing 1.0, where we really made you guys go overboard with content. And like we suggested everyone to go into limos, and we had like Jesus 18, 19, 20 pages or whatever for you guys to create. And what I want to do is help you guys move along faster, get to the money, and prove that just not a lot of this stuff matters. And even kind of what Dan was talking about in the last two videos, I liked everything he said, and it was really good advice and really good due diligence. I don't necessarily take it. I see what he's saying, and I agree. Yes, you pretty much want to reverse engineer the competitors who are doing well, and you want to outperform them on all accounts. However, I still think you can outperform them without beating them in every single area. For example, I don't think that you'd have to get 107 citations if they have 106. That's just my personal opinion. Dan likes to play it safe and just beat them on every front. I like to do less but better and still beat them. So what I'm proposing to you guys is that we're going to do a complete 180. I literally think you can make these local lead gen sites in most industries, in most cities, and I think you can do some damage and even dominate with just a really nice homepage, and throw on an about page, a contact page, maybe a privacy policy, and really just have one main page of content and put it all on the homepage. This is extreme, and I'm not going to say that you're not going to go back and maybe add pages as necessary, but here's what I'm suggesting. And if I was making a carpet cleaning site in Mesa, Arizona today, this is what I would start with. It's not necessarily what I would finish with, but this is what I would start with to get things moving. I would aim for a homepage with at least 1,000 words, bare minimum, 1,000 words. I would make sure that all of that content is unique. I would make sure that it's grammatically correct, and I would make sure that it is not written by a monkey. In local, it just doesn't matter. And in 1.0, I really tried to over deliver and give you guys all these copywriting insights and stuff like that. But for what we're doing, no one's going to read if you have a 2,000 word homepage about carpet cleaning, no one's reading it. No one's reading it. As long as your header looks legit, there's a local phone number, maybe an instant quote form, that's as far as they're getting. They're either going to call or fill out the quote form or bounce off the site, but they're not going to read through 2,000 words about carpet cleaning. So it really does not matter. With that being said, Google can obviously program their algorithm to understand if something's written by a baboon or a monkey and it's just not grammatically correct and it's low quality spun content. There's all kinds of typos and improper use of punctuations and things like that. That will hurt you. But as long as it's unique, words are spelled correctly, proper grammar, and long and strong and comprehensive, I think you can dominate, or at least get it going and get it ranking, and then come back and add pages if you think you need to. So if it were me, I would only add inner pages as needed. In Dan's, like, he was researching carpet cleaners. I don't know what city that was, but like if the guy had 28 who was ranking number one, and he pulled up the pages and you saw they were crap. So I don't think you need 29 crappy pages to beat a 28 junky page website. I think that you could have 2 or 3 really nice pages and still beat them. I don't think that that's, in other words, it's good research, it's good due diligence, it's good to have kind of an idea of what everyone else is doing, but that's not the end-all be-all. I don't think you're necessarily getting brownie points for every sloppy page you throw up. I think that you're only getting brownie points if you have really well-written Wikipedia-esque pages. So if it were me, I would pick the niche, I would pick the city, I would go all out on the homepage, I would slap on an about and a contact, probably a privacy policy, and I would launch the site, get it published, get it indexed, go through the other weeks, get the SEO process started, because SEO takes so damn long, but that's our big money maker. So we got to get that ball rolling. And then I would come back if I thought of things, or when I get a client, I would come back and say, hey, what other services do you offer, and maybe think of some other pages to add, and maybe not. Maybe I would just add even more to the homepage and not even add any other pages. But I would at least see where this gets me. And my hunch is that you could rank just with an awesome homepage. Why do I say that? Well, because I've done it. Most of you have seen this, but if I search for solar water heater Chandler, which is the city I'm in, you can see I just threw this up. I'm not logged in. This is my site, solarchandler.com. I'm number one. I've been locked in here for like 8 months or however long. This is a one-page website, and it's got almost no content on it. Okay? Why? Because Chandler's it's decent size. It's like 250, 300,000. But there wasn't any competition. There were no pages optimized for solar water heaters in Chandler. So by default, I win. So even if it's more competitive than this, if I put a little bit more effort in and cover everything, like carpet cleaning is going to be more competitive than solar water heater. This is very specific. It's very long tail. Doesn't get a lot of searches. But I also did almost nothing for the site. Carpet cleaning Mesa is going to be a little bit more competitive. But if I put in a little bit more work and make this 1,000 words instead of like 3 sentences, and with the right SEO, which I'm going to teach you in week 5, with influence pointing in and citations done correctly, I absolutely think you can rank. So why make a bunch of pages and go to a bunch of extra work when we haven't even proven that you need those pages to rank? If we can rank with one page, why would we add 10, 15, 20, 25 pages? And in 1.0, we were just trying to be safe and thorough and kind of show you the value of having lots of content, and none of that has changed. It's just that you could potentially make just one really, really, really long page instead of doing 20 pages, which is still going to be less work. Okay, so this is what I would start with. This is why I think this is, and I guarantee we're going to see one testimonial after the next saying, wow, I can't believe I threw up basically like a one-page website and I'm ranking and I'm getting leads, and I turned it into $1,000 per month deal. Okay, and if the group shows us that people are struggling to rank, maybe I'll come back and revisit this, but I just don't see that happening. So that's my philosophy. So here's how I would approach my content. And I think you can have this homepage knocked out, 1,000-word homepage, unique, do it yourself, 2 hours max. And most of that's just going to be research. I just spent 15 minutes. I'm really fast at this. And I just went to Google and started doing searches. Dan basically already showed you this, but, just kind of for more perspective, I started searching for carpet cleaning, and I kind of saw what was coming up. Okay, and then if Mesa was the city that I wanted to go into, I would search Mesa. I would go to the bottom here and see what Google is telling me is relevant. OxyFresh, commercial carpet cleaning, Mesa carpet cleaners, and then other cities, Chandler and Gilbert. I don't even know if I swear they didn't show some of these the first time. Commercial, I don't think, is one that I had. And what I do is I just start taking notes. I start taking notes on what I find. And Dan showed you how to reverse engineer sort of other people's competitors' websites. And I'm just going to kind of show you how I basically use Google's data to kind of tell me what people are searching for. And I might even, let's say, because some of these suburbs don't bring up as many search terms, so I might just throw in, even if I don't want to go into Phoenix is the biggest city, it might open up some more ideas, and it does. See, if I do Phoenix, look at here, Groupon, reviews, Yelp. So you can bet your ass people are searching for those things. So everything that kind of come up, whether it's a company, a competitor, different terms, synonyms are a big deal. Google's a computer, right? It understands. You don't want to spam your same keyword over and over and over, so it's going to understand synonyms. So carpet, cleaning, right? Clean, cleaners, carpet. A synonym is actually, related words are rugs, mats. I don't know if this is supposed to be scrape. Cleaning, scrub maybe is what I meant here. You can tell as you don't want to take longer than necessary, less but better, remember. So you could spend 8 hours researching this, but is it going to make you any more money than 8 minutes? Probably not. So you want to go fast and you want to hyper Pareto, focus on, the one or two big things that are going to make you all the money. Clean cleaners, rugs, mat, these are just some different certain synonyms and related terms for carpet and cleaning. Scrub, wash, rinse, mop, cleanse. Okay, so these are kind of my notes. These are other things that came up when I was doing searches. I was doing searches for Phoenix carpet cleaning Phoenix, Mesa carpet cleaning, Mesa carpet cleaners, and just kind of taking notes on everything that came up. Whether it was Google's instant results here, kind of what they were saying, see Koi, Rug Doctor, those must be Stanley Steamer. Those are obviously competitors that people are searching for that they know exist. So we might as well talk about them because we might scoop up some of their traffic. Always at the bottom, every time you do a search, check the bottom and see what kind of paths that opens up in terms of keywords. Apex, Stanley Steamer, carpet cleaning, Rug Doctor, Koi, Stanley Steamer. So here's what I came up with. Arizona, obviously. Arizona. Reviews, Yelp, Groupon, Steam, Upholstery, Tile, Grout. Tips, prices, rental, do it yourself. Some of these companies may have machinery that they rent out, so they would want to profit off that as well. Carpet repair, coupons, complaints, specials, cost. These are buyer terms. If someone's in Mesa searching for a carpet cleaner and they're searching for carpet cleaning coupons, carpet cleaner prices, carpet cleaner reviews, Mesa, Arizona carpet cleaners, Yelp reviews. These are people who are ready to pull the trigger. They're just reading about, some of the main competitors and what reviews have said about them. And that's going to basically tell them whether or not they want to call person X, person Y, or person Z. So we might as well talk about this stuff in our homepage because no one else is probably optimizing it for it. Carpet cleaning specials, carpet cleaning cost. And then always think, after all of that research, then think. Just bring it back to common sense. What would you search for? Okay? If I was getting my carpets cleaned tomorrow, I would think about what I would genuinely search for. I might ask my wife, anyone who's around, hey, if you're getting your carpets cleaned, just tell me off the top of your head, what would you search for? Might get a few suggestions that you didn't otherwise have. I would probably search for local carpet cleaners. So you might not put in Mesa when you search. Remember that. You might just put in local carpet cleaners. You might not put anything about city or local, knowing that Google's going to serve you up local results anyways. You might just say best carpet cleaners, top carpet cleaners, carpet cleaning reviews. Then this is basically the majority of it. So those are my notes, and then I would aim for 1,000 words, and I would start writing it, and I would make sure to touch on all of this in some way, shape, or form. I would try to naturally work in basically all of those words or close variations of those words. As far as additional pages after that, basically when I get this process going, I go through the 5 weeks, I start the SEO, I start ranking, I start getting leads, I get a business owner that I want to have test the leads, then I might start asking them, hey, what other cities do you serve? And I would consider either adding those cities into the homepage or potentially making inner pages for them. You could do either, doesn't really matter. And what else do you do? Do you do steam cleaning? Do you do upholstery? Do you do tile? Do you do grout? And maybe those would warrant specific inner pages, or maybe you would just add to the homepage. My goal here is to guide you, steer you, but also empower you. I hate that term, empower you, to be a decision maker, because this is your business. So it's like, as a coach, I want to trim as much fat as possible. I want to take all of the guesswork and the stressful decision making off of your plate, because that's what you paid me to do. But I don't want to take it too far to where I'm like, hey, do it like this, make 17 pages. I want to give you an understanding of kind of my philosophy on it. Dan kind of gave you his philosophy on it. I want to educate you on what Google is looking for, and then I want you to become a professional experimenter, right? And it's kind of a geeky way to think about it, but you should be putting up lots of these lead generation sites. Test different things. Do it Dan's way one time and maybe beat the top competitor. If he has 17 pages, do 18. And then the next time, maybe consider my way and just do one homepage and an about page and a contact page and see what that gets you. And maybe make it 2,000 or 3,000 words and be done with it and see what that gets you. And then the third time, Do a hybrid. Do 6 pages and 1 page for all the different services and see where that gets you. And determine for yourself what works best and how you find your groove. Because it's a balance of how quickly you get this turned out. And, you know, I love blogging. I love creating content. And I'll be the first to raise my hand and say, writing about stuff that you could care less about, it sucks. It really does. So that's all the more reason that I would just try to mentally go, okay, listen, I just got to do 1 page. I'm not gonna get my butt out of this chair until I get this homepage done. But guess what? Then I'm done, and then I can start the SEO. So that would be easier for me mentally to make myself sit down and do it, as opposed to saying, okay, I get the guy who's ranking number 1 has 19 pages. I got to do 20. I'd probably keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and I might never do it because it just sounds so brutal to do 20 pages about carpet cleaning. But this is something, if you're the worst writer in the world, I want to save you guys money, you know, and not have you have to go and outsource and barter and wait on someone else. You need to, in the beginning, you need to bootstrap, you need to do it yourself, you need to learn the process. And then going forward, sure, if you want to outsource certain things, if you want to partner up, if you want to barter, that's cool. But I think it's worth it to make a few of these yourself. And if you're just doing 1 homepage, you can definitely do that. Okay? So I would just start typing. What do you say? How do you say it? Honestly, I could care less. If you're talking about all the right things and it's long and comprehensive and unique and grammatically correct and not written by a monkey, and then you do all of the other steps in this process, you're going to rank. That's just, you know, we could, in 1.0, I put too much emphasis on content and it held people back. It held people back, and it probably made it take longer to make money, and that was unnecessary. So while I had good intentions and I was just trying to over deliver as a coach and teach you all these cool things about copywriting, the fact of the matter is, you know, you go back to those commandments that I shared with you in the foundation. What's one of the main ones? Less but better. The disciplined pursuit of less but better. Essentialism. So if it's not necessary, let's not spend the time, the effort, the energy, the brain power on it. Let's just do the bare minimum and get these things making money and go from there. So these are my guidelines. This is what I would start with. I would do a bunch of Google searches and reverse engineer competitors like Dan showed you in the last couple of videos to get ideas of, you know, he said pages to make, but really all of that intel could be used for what to talk about on your homepage. And then if you're still struggling, even though you have all of these notes and these things are all things that you need to talk about, then go to the top 1 or even go to a different city. Go to a big city and look at someone who's either spending money, running ads, and or performing well, and see what they're doing. And even then, don't take any of this too serious, because look at this. I mean, this is freaking ridiculous. It's spammy, it's scuzzy. So just because they're at the top, and remember, this is why we're so high on job killing and why so many people are getting results, is because it's easy, right? So just because someone's ranking number 1 doesn't mean that they're doing a bunch of things right. It might mean that everyone else is just slightly less pathetic than they are. They're the least pathetic out of all the pathetic results. So like this site, they're ranking basically number 1, excluding Yelp and the paid ads, and it's a horrible site, and they're spamming the crap. This is all spam. Like, this stuff shouldn't even work anymore, and apparently it does. This is very spammy. But again, this might give me some ideas of how to kind of jump this thing off about us, you know. Mesa Carpet Cleaners serves Mesa, Arizona and the surrounding Phoenix, Arizona metropolitan area. We offer inexpensive green carpet and upholstery cleaning, you know. So basically, use this as a guide. Don't copy, just use it to guide you, and then change the words and go through it. Why choose us? Cool, I could do something like this on that homepage and put some bullets and reword this, you know. We're affordable, we're green, whatever. It might stick in a little bit of humor, you know, like I've been known to do, and that's how I would chip away at it. I would write it all out on a notepad or Microsoft Word or something like this, make sure I get my 1,000 words, make sure it flows well, do all the spell check, Grammatical stuff, make sure you've mentioned all of this stuff naturally, or, again, don't take this so literal that you have to say clean, you have to say scrub, you have to say wash. These are just some ideas. I'm going to try to mention most of these, but if there's not a good place to fit it in, I might not mention scrub, or maybe I do, okay? Hyper Pareto, less but better. Remember, it's basically going to be, there's lots of long tail search terms that you can get found for, and this is why we want to make this as long as possible and do our due diligence and mention as many of these things as possible. But still, the majority of your leads are going to come from the main searches: carpet cleaning Mesa, Mesa carpet cleaning reviews, local carpet cleaners, best carpet cleaners in Mesa, okay? Don't forget about the competitors. People are searching specifically for the competitors. They're searching for them for a reason. They want to call them and give them their money, so you could ethically steal some of those buyer search terms. So piece this together, and then in the next video we'll talk about how to optimize this on the homepage and get it cranking. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.